Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of season 1. The Parliament of Dreams. And no, I do not like this episode because it is where Bill Mumy first shows. Mumy? Did I say that right? Yeah. Maybe I didn't, but I think I did. Where he first shows up. I love linear, and I am not biased whatsoever. Okay, maybe a little. It's a good episode. Oh, not entirely. Okay. The premise of this episode is kind of just meeting all the cultures in the station, and it kind of works pretty well, to be honest. You kind of start getting your first taste of the different races. They start getting a first taste of the politics. A lot of actually really important little things start showing up in this episode. If you skip everything before this, would not skip this one. If you've seen everything before this and you're wanting to skip it, well, I'd say it's a bad decision, but you can. It's still not super critical. Like, there's nothing in this episode that's like, absolutely, man, you need to watch it because of Bill Mumy. Yeah, I'm probably a little biased. However, this episode was very, very good. And there's no like discussion or debate on that point here. The biggest thing that bothers me about this episode involves G'Kar and something towards the end of the episode. Without doing spoilers, I remember how they explained it, and even when I was younger, I remember thinking, huh? And I still think, huh? When I see that part of the story. It's a bit of a lame duck when it comes to storytelling. And by a bit, I mean a pretty large chunk of lame duck. It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But it's only one little piece in the episode towards the end, and it involves, I don't want to say, G'Kar. It involves G'Kar's story arc, which is a pretty big one in this episode. He's also an excellent actor, a very enjoyable role. And it brings a lot of personality. Man, I'd watch this episode. It's easily a 4 out of 5, like maybe even a 5 out of 5. It's just stellar, and it's really, really, really good. It's definitely aged, so I can say that. But I mean, you know, if you're seriously like never watched the show and you're like, hey, I don't know, should I watch this episode? I would do episode 1, episode 4, and then this one definitely is where you would start if you haven't done the others. The acting quality goes up in this episode. The visual quality goes up in this episode. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you know, it's better. It introduces all the things you need to know in order to understand the setting. Skipping this episode would make it harder to learn things you need to know later on in the show, although the episode itself is a bit bland, I have to say. It's not the most exciting episode ever, but it does do a lot of things you really need in order to get into the show down the line. So, anyway, you guys have a good one.